Hello, hello. We are live. Welcome back to Trackmania Tuesday. That's right, yes, we will be doing our weekly reviews. Apologize for missing last week. As you may know, St. Patrick's Day was Tuesday, so we were busy cooking up some corned beef and hash and enjoying our Tuesday festivities. If you're new to the channel, check out the links below. Join us over on Twitch. If you're already watching over on Twitch, hit that follow button. Hope everybody is having a wonderful afternoon. We're gonna hop into the reviews. Checking out week 67. 6-7, that's right. We will be getting into the discoveries very soon. Of course, first we're going to start with week 66 world record reviews. If you're new to the channel, we do this every Tuesday. So if you enjoy some Trackmania content, definitely do come back for the next one. We will be live every week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. We do Trackmania on Tuesday, whatever on Wednesdays, and Phasmophobia on Fridays. As you see, we got Trackmania up on the screen here. We also have a club that you can join if you would like to play together while we're doing our discoveries. But as I said, as per usual, we will start with our reviews of last week's records. I did not play last week's tracks at all. And I meant to get into it on Saturday, but did not happen to do so. So this is going to be a little bit of a discovery and review. Apologize for the screen flashing. I don't know why that happens sometimes. I've definitely been enjoying the new tracks, the new style, you could say. We're going to start out with track 1 of week 66 here and immediately jump off the edge of the map. Want to keep contact with the road there, so we're going to have to take that at a real broad angle. Whoop. Immediately flying off the edge of the track. Whoops. Definitely like the aesthetic of this one. Kind of reminds me of a couple of routes or a couple of tracks in Forza. Play a lot of Forza. Shout out to Forza Horizon. Forza Horizon 6 is coming out soon. I'm excited for that. Gotta get over that first hump there. There we go. A little bit of air time, but that's okay. A little bit of a tighter turn around that corner. Like we only have one checkpoint here, so it should be a pretty short track. There we go, that's a much better turn. Ooh, and launching ourselves. Looks like we actually kind of want some air time there. I like how the finish line is through the sign there. Got the author medal. First finish. We'll see if we can't optimize that a little bit. We can still achieve the medals even though we missed the leaderboards last week. Let's see if we can't get a little bit of a better time on this. Kind of want the downhill there, but still managed to get a slightly better time. We'll do that one more time. Want to cut that corner as tight as we can. Want to take every line as tight as possible. Whoop, a little too tight there, hit the edge of the track. Hit the snow a little bit, but that slowdown may have actually been kind of good, so we don't fly off the hump here. Whoop, bad line. Much failure. We will get into the reviews here momentarily. I just want to get a better time on this. Ooh, that was not great, but a little bit better. We do want to land on that downhill. If we can clip our back tires on the edge of that road, force a nose down, give us a better landing on that far side so we can get the downhill. Whoa, into the fence. The aesthetics on this track definitely do remind me of Forza. With the racer's cage and stuff like that. There we go, that's a nice angle. Catch that downhill just a tiny bit, and we get a slightly better time. All right, well, we'll take that for now. Let's go ahead and check out the records here. We got chocolate pizzas, complex statistics, complex statics, Flechettas, Rixo 5, and Voltzi. We recognize a couple of the names there, Flechettas and Voltzi. Starting with chocolate pizza's perspective, complex statistics or complex statics, and Flechettas there ahead. We have our ghost turned off. Oh, and the ramp cut. Good time there. Oh, and the game crashes. Why? Been having a lot of issues with the game crashing on me every time I try to swap my view. Definitely an issue that popped up with the most recent big update. Not sure why that's happening, but I'll try to work through it here. Alright, back to track 326, Jaguar TCS Racing. Looks like it might be an approximation of a real track. Part of the reason why the aesthetics look like they do. We go back to the records here. Why is it not showing the ghosties? Ah, there we go. Got it turned back on. Okay. Alright, back to chocolate pizza's perspective here. Complex statics and Flechettas there we see going a little bit wider with Flechettas. Nice contact on the hill there. Complex statics slightly ahead there. Nice keeping contact with the ground and getting that downhill, and they all hit that ramp cut. Looks like they crossed the line pretty close together. Chocolate pizza's complex statics, only 2,000 separating them. Flechettas ahead by 100. Nice line, complex statics, and Flechettas going a little bit straighter across that downhill section. Nice tight line, close to that wall, almost rubbing against it, just barely hopping over that snow section. Very nice line to all three of them there. We're gonna go to Rixo with Flechettas behind here. Rixo going a little bit straighter through that section, really close to that wall. Rixo with a bit more speed, taking the left line and the ramp cut. Scrubbing the edge a little bit, it looked like, but getting in there another 3 thousandths ahead, really close. Leaderboards this week. Beautiful run to all three. I'm gonna go ahead and check out Voltsy here with Rixo behind. Voltsy going a little wide. Catching a lot of that downhill, way behind there. Bit of a speed slide through that section, getting the nose down and ramp cut into the finish line. Catching a lot of speed in that last section. They are way behind here. About 3 or 4 car lengths behind Rixo, but that speed slide and the nose down, another speed slide just before the finish there. Giving them that little bit of extra speed, allowed them to catch up and get in there by 5 thousandths. That speed slide giving them a huge boost of speed. Excellent work to Chocolate Pizza's Complex Statics, Flechettas and Rixo, and Voltsy. Voltsy with the world record. Good work to everybody there. That was track 1 of week 66, Jaguar TCS. Moving on to track 2. We're gonna see if we can't get the author medal on each one of these tracks before we do our reviews. This is track 2, Mahindra Racing. Interesting. Oop, wrong button. That was my bad. Not the biggest fan. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Not the biggest fan of tracks like this. Super closed in. Getting all my buttons messed up. Just the aesthetic is making me think of... Whoa! Making me think of Forza, so I keep trying to hit the... hit the e-brake and the clutch and stuff. Definitely not a huge fan of these walled-in tracks. Oh my gosh. Trying to drift, but don't have quite enough speed going into that first turn. You gotta be at the right angle if you want to get in there. It's gonna take me a second. Yeah, I keep trying to turn early because I'm setting up for a drift, but... Oh, and there we go. We got it that time. Release a little bit. Ah, man. Yeah, definitely not a fan of these walled-in indie-style tracks. I like a much more open track. Even a lot of the Forza racing tracks have a lot more space. There we go. Good turn there. Oof. Should have tried to drift earlier, but nice line there. Had to release again. This track is really catching me. There we go. That's a good line. Had to release again, but that's okay. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to turn early because I'm expecting the drift, but we're just not quite getting enough speed for that drift to activate. Keep smashing into that wall. Okay. Oh yeah, that was a good line. That was a bad line. Good line around the first turn, bad line around the second turn. There we go. Releasing a little bit, but that's okay. That's a real tight turn there. Oof, that one was rough. And the finish is over that fence, so you need a good amount of speed for that. Banging that wall. We might actually see a wall bang in the records on this one, I'm thinking. Kind of sets you up for it in this turn here. Oh my gosh. Not only are we in tight quarters here, but we got tight turns on every section. Oh, there we go. That was a good line. Once again, releasing a lot. And we make it into the finish. All right, well, we take that. Did not get the author medal. 17-9. We're gonna have to do that again. We're real close though, I feel. There we go. Good drift there. Had to release a little bit for that one. Gotta get an angle going before you do that drift every time. That turn is a killer. Releasing every turn here. Man, yeah, that turn is rough. We'll make it around here though. That corner. There are definitely a couple of rough ones here. Alright, we kind of brushed the wall there, but we still kept our speed, so we keep going. This one's a little awkward, but there we go. That's a better time. Did we get that author medal? Please tell me. Nope, not quite. Really close. Not very often that I struggle for an author medal on the weekly tracks, but this is definitely not a style I'm a fan of. Tight quarters are not my favorite. A little bit more speed there. That corner. Managed to get the drift, but we were gonna hit the wall, so you gotta get like above 170, 180 before you try to drift. Can be tough. There we go, much more speed that time. Probably should have held the drift a little bit longer. Get a slightly tighter angle there. Not enjoying this track. Really not enjoying this track. Very restrictive space. Probably one of my least favorite tracks of all time, actually, right now. I want to go real wide so we can go nice and tight in that corner, but... Yo, what up, Justin? Among Us was fun. We had some We had some goofy dudes in our game, but you know, that be how it be. That's part of the challenge of the game, you know. You got to deal with people gaslighting each other. That's literally part of the game. But yeah, Among Us was fun. I actually have only ever played Among Us a few times. Was playing on my phone yesterday. I have played it on the Xbox before, but it's a style of game that I am, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty wild. I honestly almost feel like the ones that voted that guy out were working with the whoever was the imposter on that one, because that was just crazy. Starting to figure this track out. It's a rough one. I am not enjoying this at all. Really don't like this restricted space. Bro's like, but I scanned him, and they're all like, you can't have scanned. Like, you weren't even there. How do you know? Sus. What you up to today, Justin? Oop. Wrong button. It's funny to me how you say that. It's like my generation came up with a lot of the abbreviations for words like LOL and stuff like that. And you guys have just, your generation has just like further freaking like further reduced it. Just say real now. Don't even say for real, just say real. Playing War Thunder soon. Yeah, I saw you were on last night. I was playing with a buddy. I was thinking about inviting you to the group, but I wasn't sure how long we were going to be on. I usually only play a couple rounds with him. What's your highest tier tank? Or highest tier vehicle, I guess. Just in general. I'm about to unlock my first tier 4. Going for that Tiger tank. I really like the German vehicles, you know, that German engineering 5.0. Nice, yeah, the Tiger tank's a 5.1, I think. Heck yeah. I like the tank combat more than just about anything. My buddy's really into the planes though. This track sucks. Might just give up on this track altogether, actually. I am really not enjoying this. Alright, well, let's check out the records. We got K-Vic, Rick TM, Flechettas again, Yvonne and Tricky getting the Tiger. Heck yeah, Tiger's a good one. Starting with K-Vic's perspective. Ricky and Flechettas there ahead. Really close on that first turn there. Little tiny bit of a drift there. And a huge long drift to set up for the angle in that last turn. And going right into the edge of the finish. Once again, really close leaderboard. Only 4,000 separating Vic and Ricky. And then another 100th between Rick and Flechettas. Almost got a tie here between Yvonne and Flechettas. Let's go with Yvonne, Flechettas behind there. Little quick drift around that first turn. Another really quick drift, barely missing touching the wall. Super long drift there. Gets set up for that turn, really low into that last turn there. And right into the center of the finish. Yvonne keeping ahead for most of the track. Flechettas barely pulling ahead into this last turn here, but Yvonne getting a better setup and going lower into that turn. Getting a tiny bit more speed into the finish there. We got Tricky here. Yvonne behind. Once again, really slight drift tap around both of those first two turns. Really long drift setup into that last turn and going low into the dip there. Getting ahead by almost 200ths. Super close leaderboards on this one, using every tiny bit of space that they have on this track. You can definitely tell that this is a kind of a specialist track. Players on this one are more attuned to this style of racing. A lot of players here that I haven't seen actually on the leaderboards before, so well done to Kavik, Ricky, Flechettas, Yvonne, and Tricky. We're gonna move on to track 3. That was Mahindra Racing. One of my least favorites. Did not enjoy that track. Glad to be moving on. What's up, Gliffy? Welcome, welcome. Glad to see you coming back in. We're still getting into our reviews here. I did not do I didn't play last week. So I am still kind of discovering what are we even looking at. Oh, okay, those are bumpers. Interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of just discovering the track here. Of course, St. Patrick's Day was last week, so was celebrating with the family. Eating some corned beef hash. A couple of interesting routes here. Looks like there's another bumper with a booster here. Long jump there. Bumpers on everyone. Kind of almost like lily pads in like Mario or something. This is definitely an interesting track. Looks like there's a few different routes that you could take. Whoa! Was not expecting that. Okay. Let's see where that goes. That one just launches you into the sky. Not fun. I've definitely got some interesting tracks last week. Whoops. That was not great. Yeah, I don't know how much I like this. This is a very odd style. A little bit of a ramp cut there and smashing into the tree. Let's just get our finish here. Whoa. Now what? We just lose? This track is interesting. Tree. How's it going? Map 4 for 22 hours. Ended 12th. Damn. 22 hours. I can't even, man. That's crazy. That's probably more time than I would spend in a week on the whole campaign. Twelfth is good finish though. Hell yeah. Whoop. Dang it. Really struggling on this one. Where even is our finish? Dang it. Is our finish all the way up to the top? There's the finish. How would we fast track that? Gain some speed, launch up to that, and then we can use the bumper maybe to, looks like it wants you to bumper over here, take the loop, bumper over there, and then, interesting. This is a very odd track, if you can even call it a track. This definitely feels like Mario Kart to me. Wants you to make it all the way over there. That is a long ass jump. I am completely lost. I don't even know how one would finish this track. Oh, interesting. Okay, see the angle on that. Oof. No, turtle. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I don't like this track. I don't think I like any of the tracks this week. The first track was alright, but this is rough and weird. I haven't even figured out how to make it to the finish yet. Huge launch. Yeah, we're gonna look at the records here. Only showing 5. Interesting. Oh, we got Voltzi, Veras, Los Leones, Crazy Dude Crook, and Tricky. Crazy Dude Crook is not a surprise. He's one that likes these kinds of special tracks. Going all the way to the left, that was unexpected. Dropping down here, taking the bumper all the way to the top. What a launch, and right into the finish there. What a line. This is a very interesting track. Not sure I like this style all that much. Kind of wondering how Voltzi gets behind. Looked like Los Leones and Veras got a lower landing onto that second to last platform. Launching right into the finish though is a smart play. Slightly, yeah, Veras and Leones get a slightly lower landing there. Top 100 on this, but 3-4 did not like. Yeah, I am not loving this week's tracks. I'm actually honestly not even all that upset that I missed out on the track. We're gonna look at Crazy Dude Crook here, barely hitting that bumper. Nice line here, almost clipping that edge. Air brake for a smooth landing. Going up, landing smooth there, and getting into the finish slightly sooner than Los Leones. They actually tied, but Crazy Dude Crook had a more direct line into the finish there. Not very often that you see a track or you see a tie on a track like this, but that was a good line. Well done to Crazy Dude Crook there. Let's check out Tricky. with Crazy Dude Crook behind. Once again, barely hitting that bumper. Jumping across to the third platform. A little bit of a rough landing. Air braking for a smooth landing there. Tricky, almost hitting the spectator stands and hitting the very bottom edge of that finish for a 4,000th or 400th improvement. Kind of hard to imagine that there was even that much of an improvement to be made between the two, but well done to Voltzi, Verez, Los Leones, Crazy Dude Crook, and Tricky. I will probably not be finishing that track. We're going to move on to track 4. Good to see that they brought back the formula, track 3 being the Pathfinder. I was a little upset that they decided to change that. This is Cupra Cairo. Whoa, starting out with some crazy speed. Want to go right through the middle of that sign there. Holy cow. We got some... Heck yeah, Justin. Thanks for popping in, man. I always appreciate you. Depending on when I finish this, I might like to play some War Thunder with you. We'll see what happens. Whoa, okay, so there's a finish there. You fly into it. Oop, went the wrong direction. Upside down and backwards. It's interesting, interesting. There are some checkpoints here, but usually when you have a reactor, there's some craziness going on. Probably gonna see some reactor flights through a couple of checkpoints. This is a very interesting track. Not sure how much I love it, but it is kind of a fun style. I don't know why I got flipped upside down there. Good line there. Getting some speed and going straight for the finish. Oh my gosh. Tried to adjust, but I was going way too fast. Want to line up on the left side here. Get some good speed. There we go. Managed to get a little bit more speed on my current PB, but still have not even made it to the finish line, so can't call it a PB when you didn't finish. Alright, well that wasn't too bad. Actually kind of a fun track. Got that author medal. Love to see that. After 18 hours of hunting, it was really annoying to do the thing. Oh, the thing. Alright. I'm assuming probably like an upside down landing and then like flying directly into the finish or something. A little bit of a speed slide there, gaining us a good bit, but landing awkwardly on the plastic. Plastic is pretty reactive, so it's hard to deal with sometimes. Good speed slide again. Oh man, that was so good. All right, we can get a slightly better finish here. Massive speed slide there. There we go. And boom, huge improvement. 15.8 is not bad. I'm totally okay with that. Let's check out the records here. We got Penta 1G, Evo Dot, Voltzi, Labsor, and Twin Dowers. Looks like really close. That was the wrong ones. We're gonna go from Penta 1G's perspective with Evo Dot and Voltzi. Going a little wide there, getting a tiny speed slide. Speed slide all the way through that section for a huge amount. And getting the backwards flight, zooping off of the edge there. It looks like Evodot and Voltsy were pretty much neck and neck going through there, getting a huge speed slide through that whole section, clipping through the edge, through the finish line, and back again. I see. So they totally skipped the plastic entirely. Really close to that checkpoint. Huge speed through there. Zooping multiple times through that. It's kind of hard to tell, but really close to that checkpoint. Beautiful speed slide through that whole section. Ramp cut to fly directly into that checkpoint and into the finish there. What a crazy line that was. That speed slide though, and the ramp cut gaining them a ton of speed into that last section. We're gonna check out Labsor with Voltsy behind. Once again, nice and tight through this section. A little wide there, carrying the speed slide all the way through, getting that ramp cut, and zooping off of the finish line, gaining them a huge amount of speed through that last loop. Ramp cut, zooping off of the finish line. Crazy line. We're gonna go ahead here from Twin Towers perspective with Labsor behind. Twin Towers nice and straight through that first section. Perfect speed slide all the way through that whole line. Zooping off of the finish, getting a quick landing, and zooping off of each one of those lamp posts or whatever decoration blocks into the finish. Twin Towers was actually behind going into the last loop, but those lamp posts or whatever those are gained him just a tiny bit more speed into the finish. What a crazy run. Love the skin that he's got there. Looks like the Korn See You on the Other Side album cover with the one of them in a run is insane. Dowers is cracked for both. Yeah. Look like the Korn See You on the Other Side album with the voodoo doll in the front. That was one of my favorite albums. So we got Penna 1G, Evodot, Voltsy, Labsor, Twin Towers. Well done to everybody there in the top 5. That is a crazy track. Getting the zoops all the way through though is absolutely cracked. That is exactly how I would describe that. That was Cupro Cairo. Moving on to the last track of week 66. Dowers got a no respawn time 0.1 faster than his world record. Wow, that's crazy. Sponsored? Henduk Tires? Keep in contact there. What is even? Getting the, what is this? I am not a fan of these tracks. Not a one of them. They all suck. Do I want to, like, go across, maybe? Yes, sir. We will be getting to that here momentarily. I just got to try to get the author medal on this track. If I can even figure out how to make it around this first turn, because holy crap, man. Bro, what is with last week's tracks? These are all gross. What up, Nick? Thanks for popping in. Hope you're having a good afternoon. Whoa. Herp. Whatever, we take that. That's a finish. Please give me the author medal. Ah. All right, we're gonna try one more time here. Okay. I see what's going on here. Where's our checkpoint? Checkpoint's on the second tire. Jesus. This turn is like impossible with that reactor up. Oh my god. No. Losing contact with the road there, if you can even call it a road. This is crazy. Dude, these tracks are cooked. All right, please give me the author medal. Is that even close? Dang, still no author medal. I'm not even gonna try. We're just gonna look at the records here. 3 seconds, 2.5 seconds ahead of me. We got Lusa Sol, It's Cam, Voltzy, Milan EXE, and Sid TM. Starting from Lusa Sol's perspective, they're gonna zoop across the rim here. Exactly as expected. On the inside of that rim. And zooping all the way across the Oni-chan horn. That's crazy. The speed they gain off of that rim is wild. Looks like we got It's Cam doing something a little bit different here. It's Cam and Voltzy doing a slightly different line. Nice and tight down that first turn there, getting both reactors. And he slowed down through the checkpoint, but getting a huge zoop off of that little dip there just before the finish line. It's Cam and Voltzy. Voltzy getting a wicked barrel roll. Showing off a little bit, getting into the top 3 in the world on the week. What a crazy barrel roll he did there. That is wicked. Excellent run to everybody there. It's Cam, Voltzy, Lusa Sol. Let's check out Milan.exe. Once again, doing that same barrel roll, getting a little bit more speed around the last turn and zooping all the way across that. Huge boost of speed into the finish line there. That barrel roll is hilarious. If that was intentional, that's legendary. Doing almost the exact same route, but Milan gaining a bit more speed, slowing down slightly less through the checkpoint. Let's see what Sid TM did here. Sid TM, Milan EXE, really close. Sid TM going straight for the rim. Of course, getting that barrel roll and taking a slightly tighter line through that checkpoint. And they almost actually tied, but Milan did a slight turn before the finish there, getting through the line, or getting through the finish line a little bit behind, but with probably about the same amount of speed, excuse me. That slow down there and that checkpoint, that is a crazy track. I don't know how I feel about these tracks. There's a couple of tracks this week that definitely are not very fun. Most hated track. You started playing 40 weeks ago? Wow. You started playing Trackmania 40 weeks ago? Dang. You're a savant. Well done to Lusa Sol, It's Cam, Voltsy, Milan, and Sid TM. This is Trackmania. Yeah, you might think this is Trackmania Turbo with some of the aesthetics and stuff, but no, this is Trackmania 2020. Welcome, Naomi. Thanks for popping in. Crazy run. That was track 5, Hanuk, week 66. We will now be getting into week 67. Hopefully, these tracks are not as wild as last week's tracks because I did not enjoy them very much. We will be opening up a room here momentarily. I just want to check out this first track. Make sure that I'm not getting into something crazy. And this start here looks very similar to a track from a couple of weeks ago. Ooh, and we want to get... You played Turbo? Hell yeah. I have not played any of the previous Trackmania games. But I have heard that it's one of the like favorite racing games, at least in Europe. I played more like Forza and stuff like that, but I watched some YouTubers a while back and really got interested in it, so I had to give it a try for myself, and it's actually turned out to be a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. We're going to open up a room here. If you are new to the channel, check out TBL Rally. You kind of can't see it on the screen there for YouTube. Trackmania Turbo for like 6 or 7 weeks, but seriously though, lots of 6-7 this week. Yeah, so check out TBL Rally. We will be opening up a room here. Let's go. Reopen our room. Edit. Don't really need that. Weekly shorts, week 6-7. Whoops. Dang it. There we go. All right. Got that set up. We're going to activate it. If you are playing Trackmania, definitely feel free to hop in. We're going to be in the first room here. I am not using a keyboard and mouse. I am on Xbox. Low-key goated. I actually have not played Turbo, but I've heard that it's really good. I may have to check it out. Yeah. I am a console player. Lowly controller. Oh, yeah. Feel free to check it out. TBL Rally. Room is open. Starting with track 1 from this week. Thanks for popping in, everybody. I heard correctly. I will have to check it out. Yes, I've thought about getting into some of the older Trackmania games. Some of them do look really good. Really bad line there. Okay, we're falling apart here. Do you play any of the other 2020? Definitely feel free to hop in. The room is open. Love to have some more competition. We got Gliffy here showing me how it's done. You have not? Well, you should check it out. It is free. Weekly tracks are free for anybody to play. Oof. That was a bad one. We got the author medal. It's a good start. At least gives us something to work on. Only played Turbo. Well, they recently had a big update on Trackmania 2020. They added back, or they, I guess not added back, but included some of the older styles from like Lagoon and Canyon. Yeah, the weekly tracks and stuff are all free to play. If you want access to the full game, of course, you gotta pay for like a yearly subscription or whatever, but there's lots of free content to check out, and you can play any user-made content, which really is where most of the game is at. There's a lot of, this is a really community-driven game. A lot of people make their own tracks, and that's where most people spend their time, in the user-made content. I need a tighter turn there. Oof, that was rough. This is a tough track. More of a viewer than a player. I feel ya. Yeah, I personally did not start playing Trackmania until like right around the time that the weekly content came out. I did play a little bit in like spring of 2023 or something like that. And then I didn't hop back into it until sort of recently. That was an alright line. Didn't get a ton of speed though. Heck yeah, I highly recommend it. It's honestly turned out to be one of my favorite games. I kind of started playing it actually like the whole reason I even started doing these weekly reviews and stuff was because somehow more stressful watching someone else play. Yeah, I get that. That's funny. The whole reason I even started doing these reviews though is because one of the tubers that I watch decided that they didn't want to do reviews for the weekly content, and so I decided to take up the torch on that, and it's turned out to be a lot of fun. It's something that I actually look forward to every week. I enjoy playing with the viewers and learning about the game. What YouTuber was it? Probably one that you're familiar with. I have not really filled that slot. I get like, you know, like 15 or 20 viewers a week. They get multi-thousands on every one of their videos, so you know. But it's kind of for me more than anything, I guess. Which one? You must know. Well, if you must know, it's Virtual. I like watching Virtual's content. He's a funny guy. I don't really watch a lot of his live streams, but I do check out more of his long form uploads. I like checking out the new and interesting content, like he's currently working on a Deep Slid, backwards tower map. I actually, I managed to finally beat Deep Dip 1. Took me a long time. Didn't stream it though. Probably should have, but been thinking about checking out Deep Slid. Does look like fun. most of the people that end up hopping into the channel are virtual watchers. I feel. Yeah, it's a virtual with the W. He's a Norwegian streamer. Well, actually, he's technically Swedish now. It's a little inside joke. Yeah, definitely check him out. Not like... Oh god, buffering. Uh-oh. Yeah, sometimes the stream has some rough patches. I don't have the greatest computer. I apologize. What are we looking at here? Not seeing that much lag on Twitch. Actually running pretty smooth on Twitch. I did see one lag spike earlier, but I apologize for that. It comes naturally. Yeah, it happens occasionally. I got really good internet, but I got a really crappy computer, so sometimes it just happens. I apologize. I have not seen any pop-ups saying that I'm losing frames or anything. Yeah, it hasn't told me that I'm losing frames anywhere, so. Could just be latency on my end. I apologize. Thank you though for popping in. Really appreciate you. Either way, sticking through it. Yeah, I know. Like I said, I don't get a ton of viewers. Sometimes I do get a good handful. We got Gliffy in the game right now. He was in Twitch chat, but since he's racing, he's not really chatting much. Oh heck yeah, thanks for the sub, man. We do 3 live streams a week. I do Trackmania every Tuesday. Wednesdays are kind of a whatever day. And we do Phasmophobia every Friday. If you're into Phasmophobia, definitely come back on Friday. We got a friend that we play with. Been getting pretty good at Phasmophobia, actually. That's a game that I really enjoy. Used to play it on VR actually with one of my friends, but don't currently have a headset to play with. 0.04 off of your PB? Dang. Are you like 14 seconds? 15.7? Oh, okay. I'm actually not even that far behind you this time. Almost a second, but I was more focused on chat than I was the game there. Not really good with jump scares. Yeah, I mean, I usually don't have too many problems with it, but I had a hilarious clip from last week where I screamed like a little girl. Even if you're not really good with the jump scares, there's still some hilarious content. We have a lot of fun. You might enjoy that at least. Are we going backwards? We are going backwards. I should have known. I saw you ahead of me there and I was like, but he was just... Ew, this map. Not one of your favorites, I take it. Dang, that's a rough start there. This whole map seems like it's probably kind of rough, honestly. Oh, hey, author medal, first try. Like that. 2 seconds behind, even. God dang. Sister says jump scares are cheap. Guess she's kind of right in a way. Yeah. Worst map this week, in your opinion? Well, we'll see. Do you not like snow? Is that the problem? I mean, I could see how you might think jump scares are kind of cheap. It's definitely a cheap way to get your adrenaline up, I suppose, but I don't know. It's not really about the jump scares for me. It's more about the investigation. I like mystery content, you know? That's really where Phasmophobia shines for me. Is it's one of those games where you gotta like gather clues and once you see 5, you might disagree. No. So 5 isn't great either. That's good to know. It's one of those games where you gotta gather clues and figure out what you're up against. I really enjoy that kind of game. If you play it right, there shouldn't really be very many good jump scares. Little Nightmares. I actually, you know, I have heard of Little Nightmares, and I just realized the other day that I have Little Nightmares. I might play it. It's not amazing, but it's not the worst track. Definitely seen worse. Oof. Little Nightmares is goated, huh? Well, I may have to check it out. Like I said, I found out I own it somehow. Didn't even know, but I was watching somebody play the second one the other day, and it looked like a lot of fun. I like puzzle games, puzzle platformers and stuff like that too. Definitely may have to check it out. Jeebus. Yeah, this is not great. Kind of rough, actually. Don't play horror games. Little Nightmares would be the first one. Yeah, it doesn't really look like much of a horror game per se. I mean, even though it's called Little Nightmares. There we go. That's a better time. I have not. Dan TDM. Can't improve. Still top 88. Dang. I wish I could get top 100 on one of these tracks. Seems like you kind of gotta get lucky with some of these. Gotta get like the right freaking angle. Just by chance kind of bump your way across some stuff. The icy tires doesn't help. Oh, there we go. There we go. Another 0.1 improvement. 17.3. On all of RM. What do you mean by RM? Really famous YouTuber. Ah. Can't say I've heard of him, but that doesn't mean he's not famous. some YouTubers have their niche. I'm still trying to find mine, I guess. Like, really famous. Oh, okay. Oh, and all of them. Oh, okay. I suppose if I really tried, I probably could at least, you know, make it in the top 200 or something, but I don't know. Trackmania is one of those games that I like to kind of just chill. I mean, I want to see if I can't, you know, get a really good score, but it's just hard for me to grind this game. It's like, if I grind too hard, I burn out really quick. I'm getting slightly better. Very popular in the UK. Oh, okay. That's probably why I haven't really heard of him. Ah! Dang it, that would have been a really good time if I hadn't hit that pole. Should check him out. His content is good. Dang it. Oh, nice. There we go. Ah, and of course I had to screw it. Had a really good line there. 1564, and you don't want to improve it. Why not? Is that a special number for you? $16.49. All right. We're getting some good time. Lose time in my life. I mean, you spent 22 hours, you said, on that one track last week. Or do you think like it's gonna like actually take time off of your lifespan trying to grind this track? You like that track? You don't like this one? Oh, okay. It make you older just by grinding it? That's funny. I mean, I don't hate this track. The cut at the start's kind of cheesy, but you know, that's how it be sometimes. After a 5-minute sesh, you're already sick of it. Dang. I actually kind of like this track. It does feel kind of random, I guess. I don't love the snow. Yeah. Kind of struggling though a little bit. GG. Sunday. Dang, that's quite the community. I feel like I've heard of Craner. This one's interesting. I like the idea of the colored checkpoints. I did actually take a look at this one while I was making my thumbnail. Let's see, we got red, yellow, blue, and purple. So we go yellow, blue, purple, red. That seems like probably the fastest path right there. Ah, get a bug slide would be good. Some of his friends have their own individual channels. Yeah, I watch some of those community channels. Can't think of his name at the moment, but there's one I like watching where he makes like random games of his own every week and then forces his friends to endure his BS. That's kind of a funny concept, I guess. There we go, a little bit of a bug slide. That's something. Easy, 14 seconds. 12.8, you son of a bitch. Let's try and get a good bug slide here. Nope, a little too fast there. $13.5, okay. That was a pretty good improvement to start. Sunday's videos was 1v1ing his. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Gotta get a really good bug slide there. Oh, barely improved. At least we're making good progress. A 1v1ing his son in Fortnite. Oh. That's hilarious. I can imagine his son probably kicked his butt. Children these days, I don't know, man. Like, I got a pretty good reaction time, but kids now are freaking insane. I don't know, growing up with, like, the kind of games that are, like, mainstream now kind of forces that, I guess. Yeah, there we go. A little bit more speed. Well, uh-oh. Did he kick his son's butt? That actually sounds hilarious. That might be a video I'd be interested in watching. That's hilarious. Nope. With an absolutely OP combo. Uh-oh. Breaking out the shotgun. Yeah, I haven't played Fortnite in a long time, but I've heard there's like this Typhoon Blade or whatever it's called that a lot of people really don't like now. I feel like there could possibly be a slightly better route here, but the bug slide really seems to be a good move. Good snap. And lost speed. Dang. Even more OP than that. Oh, jeez. I don't even know. Like I said, I haven't played Fortnite in forever, so I don't know what's more OP than that. Oh, man. I had such a good line going there. Oh, how? I keep losing speed through that last section. Ah, too much through that. Need to slow down slightly so I can catch the grass earlier. Oh, there we go. Heck yeah, that's a good time. That was a huge improvement. Holy crap, dude. I felt like I was doing good. Bro's over here freaking 1.2 seconds ahead of me. A meme with it on his Reddit page. Well, if it's become a meme, then you know it's OP. Top 3 with... He's low-key mogging. Oh, dang. That was a lot of time I gained right there. Alright, well, what am I doing wrong? What are you doing? Low cut there for early contact. Bug slide close to the right. And yeah, okay. So basically just better bug slide, I see. Yeah, I was thinking about playing Fortnite again. They've got this sweepstakes or whatever going on. His absolute favorite word is foot. That's hilarious. 11.7 by the end of the week. Oh man, I probably should have kept that. That roof hit put me into a really good angle there. Ooh, yeah. 11.7, holy cow. That sounds hella fast. PB is 11.9? Dang, dude. Putting me to shame. Not like that's hard to do. Ah, man. 1 to 10. Holy cow. I mean, I feel like I did pretty all right. 13.2 is not bad. His favorite word is foot. That's amazing. I can imagine some hilarious situations. All right. Thanks for hanging out, Naomi. Really appreciate you. We're going to be streaming tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. Maybe some Luigi's Mansion, but definitely do come back. I hope you have a good day. okay, speed slides. Which I am not really the greatest at speed slides, but immediately saw that low finish. Stay safe. It's the best map this week. I like the aesthetic. It looks cool. Whoops. Almost PB already. Dang, putting in the work. Yeah, you kind of gotta get lucky with these speed slides. Top 35 right now? Holy shit. Oh, too low. Oh, just the tiniest bit too low there. Nope, airtime. Boom, 17.3. That's not too bad. Literally a whole second ahead of me. God dang it. Full speed is your best style. I am not good at full speed. It scares me. I'm starting to get better at it though. All the speed slides and stuff are really challenging. 0.029 from your PB. God dang. Yeah, I need to learn speed slides. $17.2, getting better. Speed slides are just really challenging for me. I don't know, I have a hard time holding that angle, you know? tiny bit of speed gain. Of the 16 seconds. So you basically just want to speed slide all the way through if possible. You want a nice low line through that grass too, I'm assuming. See. Are you on keyboard? Yeah, kind of thought so. Just based on the tippity taps. Honestly, feels like this game is like they've made a lot of freaking adjustments to this game to make it can't play full speed on controller. Yeah, it feels like they've made a lot of adjustments to this game to make it kind of favorable towards keyboard players. I've noticed actually there's a couple of tricks that you can do even on controller where if you do like kind of a it's hard to describe, I guess, but like on the keyboard how you're like tapping the key, if you do the same thing on controller, how you like kind of, you know, like wiggle it a little bit, where you'll actually make some improvements. Going perfectly smooth isn't exactly like the best. Isn't exactly the best option. Like you kind of want those tippity taps. Especially on dirt, I've noticed. It's also really hard to keep the right angle with controller because you have to hold it like the perfect position. Oh, that was quick. 16.3. Yeah. I did all right, I guess, but definitely could improve a lot. Don't know how much more you can improve. I feel ya. Yeah, I did actually take a quick preview of this track I'm not a fan of the rally car, to be honest. But the way that the road is shaped and everything is kind of funny. The top-down perspective kind of reminds me of like F-Zero almost. Whoops. It's funny too, because like there's all these little turns and twists and stuff, but like most of the track is straight. Dang it. There's another game I used to play a lot back in the day that I can't remember the name of, but it was kind of like F-Zero. Played it on the Nintendo 64. Dang it. It was a game actually I really enjoyed. There's a lot of games that I used to play that like I just don't have anymore. Kind of wonder where they went. Ah. Requires lots of little adjustments. Once again, the tippity taps. Dang, dude. You're like on point today. Ah, 3,000? Holy cow. Holy crap, dude. 3 seconds ahead of me? That's insane. Like more than 3 seconds ahead of me, like 3.5 seconds ahead of me. I did hit the wall a couple of times though. We'll say that. Ah. Spectating KDC. .2 faster. That's hard to believe. Ah, hit the wall. I'm already losing time off the start. Just from my PB. Ugh. It's hard not to hit the wall. The fixed perspective is kind of annoying. I will say that. I don't understand how I'm 1.3 seconds behind myself right there. Ah. Not hitting the wall is a challenge. just in general. No. I had so much speed right there. Comparatively. Ah. Yeah, I gotta try to no slide as much as possible. One thing I am realizing. Dang. Honestly, this track is kind of a headache. I don't dislike it, but just the way everything, like, it's all twisting and stuff. How did I gain so much time on that? Still a second, 2 seconds behind you. Action key 1 and play track is normal. Action key 1. Advanced options. Dang it. Wait, did I have to apply, huh? Yeah. Oh, nope, okay. Action key 2 on first turn, and then 1 for everything else. Alright. Well, I only have room on my controller for 1 action key, so we're just gonna do action key 1. Damn. Wow. Huge improvement immediately. Great advice. Actually. Yeah, that's the one thing about the rally car specifically, is that it's just so insanely sensitive. Damn it. Keybind abuse, that's funny. %, steering for the whole map. Never seen that before. Maybe not 20%, but there was one track a few weeks ago. It's like one where it was like on a canyon wall or whatever. That one was like action key 2 pretty much the whole way through. Dang it. Just barely hit the wall. Top 150, dang, dude. That's massive. Oh, I don't have enough time for another finish now. Thanks for the advice on the action key, though. That definitely, I made a huge improvement immediately. Yeah, the rally car is just so touchy. I have a hard time with it. We can do this track one more time. I'm probably gonna freaking call it after this one though. Thanks again, man, for playing with me. I really appreciate you coming in. You've taught me a lot, actually. And it's fun having somebody to kind of compare myself to. It makes me a lot better when I'm not just, you know, challenging my own PB, because I don't really know what I'm doing most of the time. There are a lot of nuances to this game that you wouldn't really think about. Sometimes you're asleep. I feel that, yeah. I get a lot of European viewers. I get a lot of European viewers. Which is kind of odd. Maybe it just has to do with the games I play, I guess. Appreciate you though, man. Dang it. That sucking downhill is struggle. Get a lot of Europeans joining shorts. Yeah, Trackmania definitely seems to be like a Eurocentric game for sure. There is a fair amount of competition in the US though. One of the top players in the world is on in my state, so. I guess Nadeo is a French company. Same as Ubisoft. Kind of makes sense. Yeah. I'm just not that good, I guess. It takes a lot of freaking finesse, and this game is very sensitive sometimes. Dang it. Ah. That turn is a struggle for me right now. That makes sense. Yeah, I've noticed I mean, that is one thing. Like, not everybody plays everything. Like, there's certain players that like to play, you know, full speed tech. There's certain players that like to play dirt. There's certain players that try to freaking maximize the campaigns. I mean, there's just so much content that that's unfair. That's funny. But there's just so much content that you can't really focus on everything. When you get like people releasing like 100 maps a week, you know? There's so many people that build maps. That was a bad start, but somehow I am ahead of my PB. Full speed in shorts. Yeah, maybe I should diversify a little bit, I guess. I mainly just do the shorts. Well, I appreciate you joining me, man. Like I said, it definitely does make it a lot more fun when I got somebody to play with. What would be a better time for me to stream? I guess since there's a lot of European viewers, probably a bit earlier in the day. I'm just not an early in the day kind of person, I guess. Like, it's like 3 o'clock or something for me right now. Almost actually 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock, holy crap. Yeah, it's almost 5 o'clock. Yeah, I started a little late today. My internet got shut off. Somebody unplugged it. So it took a little while to get everything set up. No one has a normal sleep schedule. That's funny. Always in a room. Yeah. I have noticed that a lot of players, a lot of the regular players are almost always live. Like they have like a live room or whatever that they have people joining them. I don't know, I'm kind of an introvert, so this is actually a little different for me. Oh yeah? Well, that's another thing about this game too, is like a lot of people that play this game like only play this game. I play a lot of stuff. Damn, well, it's a PB. That was a rough finish though. GeoGuessr. You know, that's so funny. There's definitely a lot of people that play that game. I have never played GeoGuessr before, but I've seen a few people play it. It's kind of a weird game to me. Like, I get the idea, but it's just weird. I don't know. It's funny how much crossover there is with this game and GeoGuessr, though. It's not really something you would think of. Yeah, I'm more of an FPS gamer. Or just a shooter gamer in general. Play lots of Rivals. At least that's what I've been playing lately. I used to actually be pro in Halo. Halo Reach. And Halo 3 a little bit, but... yeah, I was a pro SWAT player in Halo Reach. That was a long time ago. Like 15, 16 years ago. Probably longer than that, actually. God, now I feel old. I made myself feel old. I mean, the thing about GeoGuessr is, like, it's more about, like, how familiar you are with, like, different regions of the world and, like, different languages and stuff. I feel like GeoGuessr for me would be more of, like, a learning experience. Like, learning about the world itself. Pretty fun learning about different parts of the world. well, I think probably gonna end it there. I greatly appreciate you though, man. It's been a lot of fun. You definitely helped make this a lot more interesting for me. I've improved quite a lot just trying to keep up with you. It makes me realize just how insanely far behind most of the other players and whatnot that I am, though. But for now, that'll have to do it. Once again, I appreciate you. I hope to see you in the next one. I will be live tomorrow, of course. We will be playing probably gonna be playing Luigi's Mansion. I was gonna play Luigi's Mansion last week. I only got like 3 floors left, but had some other things that got in the way and kind of changed my plans, so we're gonna do it this week. Appreciate you for being here. Thank you everybody for showing up in chat. Thanks, man. You too. Shout out to Gliffy. Appreciate having you around. Hope that everybody enjoyed the content. If you're watching over on YouTube, check out the links below. We are also live on Twitch. You can get the full screen content. Hope to catch you in the next one. Everybody stay safe, stay warm. Probably not too much of a challenge. It's spring now here in the Northern Hemisphere, but you know, it's still kind of cold in some places. And as always, trust in the bloodlust.